The Scrum framework is especially tuned to address work that exists in a complex domain. That's almost meaningless unless we define what we mean by complexity. To do so, we'll use an illustration made famous by Ralph Stacey, a professor at the University of Hertfordshire. What Professor Stacey proposes is that we can take any two dimensions of complexity and gauge our likelihood for success based on how certain or uncertain we are about those two dimensions. For example, when we're talking about building software, we have two questions that we might consider. What are we going to build, and how are we going to build it? If we are very certain about what we will build and very certain about how we will build it, the work to do so falls within the simple domain. If, however, we are less certain about how we will build it or what we will build, which is often the case in software development projects, we can call this work complicated. At the opposite end of this graph is a world where we know very little about both what and how we will deliver. This is the realm of chaos, and if your team is thrashing here, you've got other fish to fry. Scrum lives right in the middle of all of these levels of complexity. Scrum is appropriate for this area of complexity. That is to say, we don't necessarily know what we're going to deliver or how we're going to deliver it. Things are going to change as we go about the creative process. If our work were simple, it would be hardly interesting. My kids, for example, don't need Scrum to clean up their room. It's a very simple task. They know exactly what the outcome should be before they begin. Some things that are a bit more complicated, but still not very complex, might be packing a suitcase for a given trip. You're not exactly sure what you're going to bring, but you are fairly sure how you're going to pack. Maybe this is a more complicated task. Software development tends to fall into the realm of complicated for maintenance work and complex for new feature development. Of course, this is a gross oversimplification of both complexity and software development. Just take this away from our discussion on the Stacey matrix. That is, some work is more complex than others, and in software development, that usually means the area of the domain might be a little bit fuzzy. We don't know what we're going to make, or the area of the technology might be a bit uncertain, or maybe it's the team, both affecting how we are going to make our product. Scrum is ideal for working in the complex area of the Stacey matrix, where we don't know exactly what steps we're going to take to deliver our product.